Ooh la la, I'm live. What's going on, y'all? I was in my PJs, but I was like, you know what? Something's on my mind and I'm in the mood to go live. I haven't been in the mood. Y'all haven't seen me in a while. But I was like, let me hop on here because I had some thoughts and questions. So, good evening. So there's a lot of stuff going on now. Okay, so you guys know I have King Speak, right? It is an interview series where I talk manhood, self-mastery, and emotional intelligence with men. Because I believe that, hey, if we want to know more about men, dating, how to get along with the opposite sex, how to harmonize our relationships just across the board, it would be a good idea to actually communicate with the opposite sex, right? So you guys can definitely catch that by clicking the link in bio. You'll see King Speak. Support tomorrow. We have BJ Williams on. He has created a docuseries called Can I Be Vulnerable? And it's for men and, you know, athletes, and they talk about vulnerabilities and all these things. So this is what I was wondering, right? I've been doing all these interviews, you know, having these conversations, and I see a lot of stuff online, right? There's all of these, you know, women, us women telling other women, you know, how we should be, how long we should wait to text a man, how to act high value, when not to have sex, what not to do to make a man this, man that. And today I was just thinking, I was feeling some kind of way, and I was wondering, some of it doesn't resonate with my spirit. Only because I feel like we're missing the mark a little bit. Like, I did take some notes because I'd be forgetting stuff. These notes are for me, but I might refer to this. But I think there needs to be a balance in how we function, right? Because sometimes I feel like right now there's a misapplication of our positive qualities, right? We sometimes can put ourselves at war with men, but we call it all honoring ourselves. Like, I'm not finna call him back. I'm not gonna do this. What I'm not gonna do with a man, whatever. But then it's like, we call that honoring ourselves, but is that really just putting us at war with the opposite sex? Like, there's a shadow side to everything that we do. And the reason why I mention that is because, of course, I have a course, called The Power of Posture. And I think what makes my course different is it gets to the root of who you are so you can make your own decisions. Sometimes I get afraid when there's too many classes and memes and girl do this and don't do that, or, you know, that thing. I know B. Simone and somebody else did it. Like, girl, you want a man who makes six figures, but you don't make six figures. You want a man with a six pack, but you eating chips. I get it, but let's be real. Does all of that stuff really motivate us to do better and be better and examine our ways in a proper way? Or does that kind of put on this false misapplication of positive qualities without us getting to the root of things in a real way so we can attract what's really for us, whether it be a man, career opportunities, and anything that we want to do. So I'm just kind of challenging us to go a little bit deeper with the stuff that we hear, especially when it comes to relating to men and women, as a woman relating to men and men relating to women. There's all these little rules and all of this stuff going on. So the shadow side of things sometimes shows up in deception, codependency, for example, right? It's like, so guys, I'm talking about, do you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the misapplication of positive qualities. You know what I'm saying? They be telling women, don't call a man at this time. Don't text too quick. Don't have sex. Don't do this. Act like a lady. Make sure he knows you're high value. I feel like it's confusing people because I feel like the most power that we have is moment to moment listening. If you can't rely on moment to moment listening, which is where the truth really lies, what are all these rules going to really do for us? How are you really going to connect to the person that you're supposed to connect to? How are you really going to connect to the opportunities that are for you? How are you really going to discern what's for you and what's not if you haven't mastered moment to moment listening? all these memes and classes and girl, do this and don't do that. That's cool. But when does that become entertainment and more of a misapplication of positive qualities that we're supposed to have? So I challenge people, again, I'm mentioning the power of posture because y'all, I wrote a course and I haven't marketed it at all. And so I want to share this with you regardless, but what I want to share is my approach to things comes from self-mastery. Okay, like there's only so much other people can advise me to do, but there has to be a point in time that I'm able to show up and make decisions for myself. Because you just telling a woman, oh, I see people in comments of, certain people who are gurus of whatever and just be like, oh my God, I met a guy and I text him and he didn't text me back. When should I text him? But like, honey, you're going to need to have discernment on your own. There's no blanket, oh, if he doesn't text, then don't call him for a week so he knows you're high value. Like everything's so case by case. So when are we going to master our own moment to moment listening? And if it's moment to moment, and if we're present in what we're getting, that's coming from the source. It's coming from God. It's coming from intuition, coming from the divine, whatever you want to call it. I say God because I love me some God. But it's like if we're not open to receive information from our intuition in each moment, then we're operating from the ego. So then we have to ask ourselves, why relationships, why opportunity, why is there all this static? Why are things not working out? Because we're following memes and gurus and be more feminine and you know what I'm saying? Let me look at the comments. You're absolutely correct. People mostly get caught up in overthinking. Well, yeah, we've been taught to overthink. Overthinking is very distracting. When you have to go to someone's page who claims to be a professional or a master on something that you already have inside you, it's one thing to let people guide you, but it's another thing to just be reliant on some of this stuff that we are being taught that sometimes doesn't have as much relevance or weight as we give it. Kip, hey, what's going on? Moment to moment listening. That's a concept so strongly, yet never put a name to it. So thank you. Yeah, it's just being in the moment. So if we haven't mastered moment to moment listening in ourselves and we're not in the moment to hear what we should do in our situation for who we are, then we're operating from the ego, which can be the shadow side. I'm going to have to can y'all still hear me with that? Because I got to plug my phone up. Can y'all still hear me well without my earphones? Let me know. Because your girl about to lose juice. Just give me a thumbs up or something if you can still hear me well. And I wanted to give some examples of what I believe. Oh, thank you. I want to give you some examples of what I believe the ego taking over sounds like, right? So I wrote down strength versus a false idea of protection, right? For women, it's like, she's a strong woman, we're strong. But what's the difference between strength and a false idea of protection? One is a reality of who we are, and one is the ego. Strength, I believe, is someone who can walk away from a situation with healthy detachment. But to call strong, oh girl, I'm not finna do this, and guys ain't, I'm not, and he thought he was getting away with this, but it ain't gonna be that. That's a false sense of protection. That, to me, that's not strong. That's the shadow side of what strength looks like. So we really have these ways of misapplying. It's a misapplication of positive qualities. Strength is a positive quality. But I have to know enough about myself to know, is that really strength, or is that your ego? And so, with my course, The Power of Posture, I try to share modalities with women that allow them to see and make decisions moment to moment, from the truth of who they are, from love, from a heart posture. It's called the power of posture, because how we show up, how we stand in things, how we let everything flow through us is life. It's not, everything that people teach us, and then you got your mind bombarded with, don't call him, don't have sex here, he ain't gonna think you're high value if you don't buy a woman a bag because then she don't do that. It's like, You're absolutely correct. Again, I've always tried to exercise that fact. You are undoubtedly one of the most empowering yet eloquent speakers I've ever witnessed. You so sweet. I'm really hoping I'm getting my point across. You know, and I was sharing that I think that, let's see, another idea of what I feel a shadow side of a positive quality that we're using is, you know, okay, we hear about support, loyalty, be a ride or die. Cool. But then we allow that kindness and that concept to make us a victim the second that dude doesn't reciprocate, or maybe we give that kind of ride or die or loyalty to the wrong person, or maybe we're taking kindness, ride or die, and instead, is that codependency? Are you a ride or die, or are you codependent? How do you know if you're not doing the self-mastery work? I don't think there's any page that you can just go, go by on Instagram and be like, you know, some of the stuff sounds condescending. Like, I don't know. I've been feeling funny about the way people are trying to tell women they need to be acting these days. And I get it, okay? But I just like to dig deeper and try to, you know, find some other things. Do you think women or even men get strength and endurance mixed up? You know, that's interesting, because I wrote down a note about endurance, you know. I think strength and endurance are both positive qualities. However, I think there's shadow sides to both of those positive qualities that'll make you believe you're showing up strong when really you might be closed off, bitter, or hurt. Or when it comes to endurance, are you playing the long game? Or are you attached to old ways of doing things? I just posed the question to make you think. Are you enduring, or are you stuck in a habit that you need to get rid of? So you know, I'm just saying that because I just feel like there's a misapplication of positive qualities. I don't think it's a bad idea to tell women to be strong, but we within us need to know the difference between strength and being closed off. We need to know the difference between honoring ourselves and just being at war with men. Because you can be at war, like, it's the same thing with this country, using war, right? Like, there's war, and then the others, you know, we're looking at war like this is such an honorable thing to do. I'm fighting for my country. But at the end of the day, it's still war. There's definitely a fine line that categorizes each sentiment, that's for sure. And it's that fine line, though. That's what I'm saying. It's the acknowledgement of the fine line, because it's so easy to get caught up in language and ideas and a bunch of people posting the same stuff. And then now you think you have to be a certain way, but you never got to the core of what is really going on with you. Therefore, are you making authentic decisions? Are you being you? Are you showing up in the fullness of who you are so that you can lay hold of what is yours? Or are you memorizing memes and, you know what I mean? So anyway, I'm trying to think if there was anything else I want to say. I just want to make sure we're winning here. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've got to have the peace to make our own decisions and not have this, the underlying almost like pick me energy. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like I said, like just referring to that, you know, that video you guys seen, like, oh girl, like, and the guys like it, the girls like it. Oh, if you ain't making, you want a man with 6 figures, but you not making 6 figures. You want a man with a 6-pack, but you eating chips and don't do this and da-da-da. Like, I get it. I'm not saying that that's terrible. I think we should all strive to be the best versions of ourselves. But I just don't know if that narrative is really going to allow people to get to the root of the truth of who they are, so they actually feel they want to evolve and grow into the type of person they need to attract what's for them. It's got to be something that is authentic to self. So yes, hence the fine line being, wait, I didn't see your, the last few legislation in Congress proves the country indeed dividing it. Yes, I understand. So for those of you just joining, I just wanted to challenge some of the narratives that we constantly hear online and ask ourselves, is it something that is just a misapplication of positive qualities? Or is it the truth of who we are? So, sometimes we're taking what we've been told is like good behavior, and we're really masking our issues. And again, the language thing it's tough. We're like, oh, we're being a strong woman. You know what I'm saying? We're honoring our boundaries and we're doing this. But I'm saying there's two sides. There's a shadow side to everything. Strength is a beautiful thing. But I also believe that strength is being able to walk away from something with a healthy detachment without any bitterness or need for anything. So are we mistaking strength for a false sense of protection, which is the ego? So again, I just wanted to share how balanced in our receptivity can we be by strengthening our ability to have moment-to-moment listening, because that's key. I can tell you, don't sleep with a man on the first date, don't text him for a week and make him feel this, or he ain't gonna think you're high value if you do that. We can say all that, right? But the reality is, you're living your life, and you have got to be able to navigate with your intuition for your situation and be very sure of what that sounds like. I just think there's a lot of miscommunication going on. Okay, so anyway, I think that's it. I just wanted to share some stuff. So if you found value in this message, check out my course, The Power of Posture, because what I would like to share with women and people is less, you need to do this to get a man and you need to do this to get an opportunity and all this and that. But no, it's like, how in tune can you get with the reality of who you are so that you can make your decisions in each moment for the best thing for your life, where you're headed, your opportunities. This is a very personal journey. Therapy, coaching, and all that, it's a beautiful thing. I'm not knocking it. But what I am saying is, if you don't got your posture, the power of your posture in alignment, how are you really going to navigate? You're always going to be reliant on yourself. And if you can't live moment to moment listening from intuition, God, divine, then the ego takes over. Because then you have to start going in your mind with all the things to block your heart, make yourself seem like this, buy this, do that. It's all this performative stuff that might not have anything to do with the reality of who you are and your personal situation. I really wanted to get on here and share that today, because that touched, today I was doing some reading and I just was thinking, and I've been looking at stuff lately, and I'm like, I get it. Like, I understand where people are coming from, but sometimes some things like tinge my spirit, but like, oh, is that really gonna help somebody grow, or does that just make them feel crappy for making what they felt is a stupid decision? Or that just, how does that really make people feel? How does it resonate? How is it going to get them from point A to point B? How's it going to evolve their spirit? So I just like to go a little bit deeper and challenge us to think about what narratives are not serving us. Thanks for partying with me, y'all. This was fun. All right, I'm going to end this, and I'm actually going to save it so people can watch the replay. Love you. Bye.